Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's Fiberific live craft and chat, where we craft and chat live. In my cups today, I have coffee. I have gone special. I've gone mint sliced tea from Talia, and I also have obligatory water because you know what? In Australia, it is summer, and while it's actually it's not the hottest of summer days here. It is humid. It is not awesome. Also, my family are all home today, and therefore I've had to close the door on my office, which means this room will turn into an oven really quite soon. Merry Christmas, oven. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way first. Now, one thing I really wanted to cover in today's live stream was last week I had a pretty big rant about a particular, I didn't name it, but a particular advent, and how I wasn't super chuffed with it. But before I get into what I want to go on about, Home Rapid Repair. Hello, Larry. Thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you, Larry. I hope I get to chat to you before then, but if I don't, Merry Christmas to you. So last week in our live, I had a bit of a rant. I'm just moving some screens here because I couldn't see Larry's thing. And how I was just like, you can't just do all the colors at the start of a gradient and not split it up. Turns out, when I shared some of the, because I think I shared it out when I was about 6 or 7 colors in, I put it over on the Discord, but it turned out that the other people who had the 24 had different colors. So there was even more greens and bright yellows in this particular advent. And I had actually spoiled some of the colors by sharing my photo of where I was up to with the advent. Now I hadn't gone and opened it early. I wasn't opening day 12 on day 6 or anything like that. I was opening it day for day for day. But unfortunately it meant I had to stop sharing the photos of that advent because I was spoiling it for the people who had bought the 24. So again, I want to say, not a great way to run an advent. But I do need to backpedal on one thing, which was, as it's turned out, as I've now opened day 12, because today is day 12, I still can't share the advent. I won't be able to share it until the others are at 25. But I did end up with a smattering of a lot of different colors. So that is really cool. And the colors have come out to be really nice. I still think there's way too much yellowy green at the start, but I did want to backpedal a little bit because it turned out I was getting a selection of the colors, not all of the colors. It's just how it's been done in such a way that the people with the 12 can't share without spoiling for the people with the 25. I just think that's really disorganized. I think it's poor planning. But I'm actually looking forward to making something with it now. Whereas before I was a bit like, I'm not going to use half of these colors. I'm just not. But now that I can see it, and I should have held my tongue, but I didn't because I was very disappointed. These are not inexpensive. These are hand-dyed advents. So these are not inexpensive things to get hold of. But yeah, so I needed to clarify that. So please, everybody, like, grain of salt on last week's live stream complaint list. So we're coming into Christmas. I'm Christmasing out things more in the background here. I've dug out the Christmas headband, although it seems I've forgotten how to wear a headband. Anyway, dug out the Christmas headband. I'll be digging out the Christmas earrings for next week, and I'll probably find a shirt with something Christmassy on it. And I'll add more to the background. It's going to get more and more Christmassy as we get closer to Christmas. But I wanted to chat about a couple of things that I've been making. Now, as you know, I've been making a lot of actual Christmas presents, which I cannot share. And it's because, you know, I don't want people to accidentally see it who are getting the gifts. So I haven't been sharing any of those particular projects, but I had to have a little break from what I was doing. And you guys know I'm a big TL Yarns fan. And I tend to have her stuff just on in the background while I'm just doing other things. And it's quite funny because it'll be like a TL Yarns, because I just have YouTube running on the TV in the lounge room. Then there'll be like a Alaska homestead and, you know, Linus Tech tips. I must confuse YouTube just so much with my eclectic taste in videos. And like, oh, look, also a 25-minute lawn maintenance video. Yeah, that can go in there too. Let's just mix up all of these things I find really satisfying to watch, or entertaining, or educational. And so I just sort of sit there, and then this one video came up of a basket that she made. And I was just like, oh, Nelly, oh, I like that basket. I want to make that basket. Like, but there was a catch. And the catch was, and I've just realized I've got such a mess here and I need to clear it out because I want to show you something. There was a catch in that she was holding two super bulky weight yarns together, or two strands of super bulky weight. And well, I don't have any super bulky weight. Like, I have none, like zeros. I don't spin it, I don't use it, I don't buy it. I had no super bulky weight, but I wanted to make this basket. So this is the basket. Those of you that are on a Discord I was on earlier this week saw me wear it as a hat. It is now full. I cannot wear it as a hat. This basket was so much fun to make, honestly. What have I done here? Oops. So much fun to make, right? So, Mousy Moo, good to see you in the chat. That I wanted to talk to you about it. So it is, I have added my Ravelry links in the description. But this is called the Starlight Basket. And she also has another one, which is more of a rectangular version. And I've seen her use it as a project bag on a couch. And I was like really curious about it. And now all of a sudden I'm like, I realized she made it. I had no idea. I'm a new fan, all right? Like, I've only been watching her for a little bit. And so I was just like, oh my God, now I need to make this other basket. So this I've made with Dirty DK, right? Except you're not going to get this level of, you know, firmness in the Dirty DK. And so I wanted 3 strands held together, but I only had one ball of green. So I thought I would show you guys what I did to get my 3 strands. And there was no cutting involved. There was no dividing. There was no weighing. There was nothing. And I thought I'll just quickly show you. So I hope you don't mind, like, that I'm just going to quickly start off with that. Let me go to the top down camera. Oh, look, you can see all the mess. Let me just zoom in. I'll zoom in so you can see less of the mess. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is just some Dirty DK. I think this is the duckling. And I want 3 strands because I want it to be super chunky. Now I crocheted this up using an 8mm hook. All the details are over on my Ravelry project. Okay, so we want 3 strands, right? But we have 1 ball. And so we're going to go and make 3 strands. All right, so now we have 3. You make your slip knot. Right, that's cool, that's great. What next? When you're crocheting up, you crochet, you crochet, you crochet. You get to sort of a point where you can still fit your fingers in here. Oops, I'll pull that back a little bit because I've got big chunky fingers. You basically pinch that and pull it. And then you've got 3 strands again. So you've got a little join there. You can see where it folds over, and that is just soft. You can just work over it. You don't even see it. You can't see it a single time in my whole project. And you work 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 until you get to the end again. And then you grab it through and just pull until you stop again. Then you work and you work and you work and you work. So you get 3 strands out of a single ball. And then at the end, you just end it off like usual. And just weave in your ends. You weave in your 3 ends together. You treat it as like you're holding 3 strands together. And you still get to keep 1 ball of yarn going. All right, so this can be a game changer. So if you're doing a project, so now I've got to try and wind this back up. If you're doing a project that you wanted to hold 3 strands together that are the same or similar. Sometimes there's a reason you want 3 different yarns held together for color and things like that. But if you just want 3 of the same color held together because you just need the thickness or the chunkiness or the loft, then you've got to sort of, I'll fix this up later, but you've got to, if you've got to pull it, if you've got to, my brain just totally fried. I need coffee. Hang on a second. Let me just put my thoughts back together. So yeah, if you've got the 3 balls for a reason, you don't need this. But if you've just got 1 ball, or you just want to work with 1 ball, like I was working on a project that required me to work 3 balls of yarn together. And now I've since pulled that project out because I didn't like what was happening. And now I'm having to deal with separating the 3 balls. Now, luckily for me, I'm using it all in another project. And I need to make 3 of the same thing, or 3 of the, I'm trying not to give away what it is because it's a Christmas present for somebody. 3 of the same thing. So I've actually got, I pulled it all out. I very carefully put all of that into a big bag and then pulled the top out. And now I'm working through 3 of the same thing at the same sort of time. Like I'll do half a row, half a row, half a row. So I'm slowly using up all of the pulled out things. But if you pull out this yarn, aside from the fact that I got myself into a little tangle, which has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I was trying to do everything too fast. There we go. If you've got to pull this out for whatever reason, then you've just got to pull out the yarn. And, you know, watch out for tangles because, you know, you're a goose. And then you get down to the end where you just pull out your chain and then boom, your yarn's back on. Now, not that we want to plan for having to frog projects, but you're doing a test or something and you may end up, oh, I can't put that there because I've got to put this basket back there. You may end up, you know, needing to frog it for whatever reason. Frogging a project that you've held 3 strands of yarn together for is not my favorite. But yeah, it's a really clever use of a chain ply. Now, I did not invent this. Like, I've seen other people do it. I learnt it from somewhere else. I cannot remember where I learnt it from, and I don't even know if it was YouTube or not. But I didn't invent it, but it is such a really great idea. And now one of the other things is to use it for, like, yeah, sure, I'm using it with a thick DK to turn it into like a super bulky. But if you've got the perfect yarn for something, like you found the perfect color, but it's in a lace weight and you need a DK, try that. Give that a whirl, you know, and because it's technically, you know, 3 times lace weight is not 6 ply. Like 3 times 2 ply is not 6 ply. It'll give you a slightly chunkier, like 8 ply. Like, oh, Stephen West has done it as well. Oh, there you go. Like, I'm sure it's around. I'm sure tons of people have done it. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I mean, I'm not inventing the wheel. I'm just showing something that I've seen, but I think I learned it from someone in person. I'm visualizing someone's actual hands at a table with coffee cups. So I don't know. But anyway, you can totally use it for things like if you've got the perfect lace weight for a project, but you need an 8 ply. If you've got like the perfect 4 ply, but you need a bulky. Do you know what I mean? Like you can test, like if you've found the perfect yarn for something, keep in mind that it does use 3 times the meterage. Okay, so if you're like, oh, I've got 600 meters of lace weight, no, you'll have 200 meters of this newly formed yarn. So you'll still need lots and lots of skeins, but it's a really good way to try and use them and use them up. Anyway, okie dokie. Now it is Christmas, right? Stop that knit spin, girls. Stop it. I've even heard people that I love and respect say, "I'll just hold 2 4 plies together, you'll get a DK." And I sort of sit there like twitching. Like, and these are people teaching people, and you're just like sure, they may get gauge. It depends on the 4 plies that you're using. You may get gauge, but it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Oh. Anyway, just drink my coffee over here quietly. just twitching. So because it is Christmas, we've got things on the go. We've got time constraints. We've got things happening. We have coming up a coffee level members Discord chat coming up. And unfortunately, I didn't realize it, but I have a family commitment on Saturday. So our usual 10 o'clock time can't happen. So I did put a poll over here on the community, on the Fiberific channel in the community tab. So if you are a coffee level member and above, so that's Coffee Clutch or Artisan, and you can join these Discord calls. So ad skippers don't have access to this. So if you are an ad skipper and you want access, you're going to need to up it to one of the other levels. And so having this Discord now, I would like to still run it on Saturday at 8:30 a.m., which is 90 minutes earlier than the usual time. So you'll need to do your own jiggery pokery math for that. So, you know, today's stream started at 10. So whatever time that was minus 90 minutes, that's what we're going to be looking at for Saturday. My Saturday, maybe your Friday, depending on where you are in the world. So please go and vote on that. At this stage, it's looking like we will still run it at 8:30 on the Saturday. I'll be able to hang out for an hour or so before I have to get in the car and hoof it off to a family commitment. So I can't hang around for like hours and hours, but that doesn't mean that you can't. You guys can hang out in there and chat with each other and doing all the sorts of things that you want to be doing, like and hanging out and just having some time to just breathe in the lead up to Christmas. Making Christmas decorations. I don't know. I've got some patterns that I've pulled out that I've been working on for Christmas decorations. And I pulled out some extra scrappy scraps today. So we'll see. We'll see. Sally says that 9 a.m. because Sally is on a different time zone. So 9 a.m. for her is a tash early on a Saturday morning. I get it. I really do. I understand. But unfortunately, I'm trying to think of another time. And we're just running out of days between now and Christmas because next week we have the productivity chat. And then the week after, I think, is pretty well Christmas. So I'm out of Saturdays. I'm out of Saturday and Sundays. My Sundays, I'm wiped because I'm up all night Saturday night. Yeah, being awake at 9 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, that is asking a lot. I get it. But you know what? You could just be their voice. You could stay in your pajamas and be on voice, and not have your camera on if you want. Or you could even, you know, as long as your pajamas are covering some stuff, you could do pajamas. This morning I was running around the house at 9 o'clock still in my pajamas. And my husband's like, are you going to have a pajama party live stream? And I'm like, no. He's like, you're not going to live stream in your pajama. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to get changed. I just haven't gotten changed yet. And he was like, you could totally live stream in your pajamas. I'm like, no, I can't. But we could Discord in our pajamas. So, some of the Christmas balls I've been working on, I do have 2 links in the description. Now, there's one there from Katie Gets Creative, right? And it's really cute. I made some last year. I shared about them last year. I cannot find them on Ravelry. So if somebody is smarter than me on Ravelry, I'm looking at you, Kelly, and can find those Christmas balls on Ravelry for me, I'd really love to be able to connect my photos with them. But the other one I've put in that I'm working on is, what's the name? Crochet Christmas Balls from Annie Design Crochet. Those I've got linked and connected. So I am literally just part the way through one right now. So I'm just using, and for this one, oh, thank you, Sally. I'm just also thinking, I had this bag, right? And it's full because the rest of it's laying on the table here. I have this bag full of Nurturing Fibers bonbons, and they're a mix of 4-ply and DK. And, oh, Sally, I've actually linked the pattern in the description. It's called Katie Gets Creative. That's her blog name. And the pattern's called Crochet Christmas ornaments. So if you have a look in the description, actually I can probably just throw it in the chat. This is the actual website listing, but I'd love to connect it all up on Ravelry if I can, but otherwise we'll just use the websites. Now, both of these patterns are free if you hang out in their website and put up with the ads, or you can go and download the PDFs. I'm seriously contemplating downloading the PDF for this one because I just keep using it, and it is such an interesting, like there's different stitches, and I'm not 100% sold on my color choices for this one. I think maybe the green was a step too far. But, you know, that's just one of many. So if you've got Christmas balls that, you know, that hang out in your Christmas tree. So I'm just going to, like, here we go. This is the mess I tried to put away before that I had just hanging out on my table. So let's go into the drop downs. Oh, that is not the right thing. Eek. There we go. Let's move that. Am I in the right? No, this is, goodness me, that's... that, well, yeah, that's the right one. It's just, oh, that's right, because I zoomed in. I zoomed in because I didn't want you to see all the mess. All right. No one wants to see me in my jammies, the horror. Yeah, Discord in PJs. We have Tim's permission. Sarah Dawn says that's 5 p.m. on Friday, so that is possible. Benfi says we get up between 7 and 8 on a Saturday, and your shorts don't count as pajamas. Sarah Dawn says, I'm doing the frantic Christmas knitting for my father right now, and if I finish that, I have a magazine deadline. I don't need any more projects, no matter how pretty. That's cool. That's cool. Technically, I don't need any more projects either. Like, let's just be honest right now. I have, and like, I've got projects that I want to be working on, but I'm focusing on the Christmas stuff. I've got my gorgeous Tunisian cardigan that from TL Yarns that I'm just loving working on, but I haven't touched it in over a week. Oh, Kelly, I put a link to, I think Sally's on the hunt as well, but I put a link to a website pattern in the chat for Katie Gets Creative. It's also in the description, I think. I'm really hunting for it on Ravelry and I can't find it. It may not be there. Not everybody's on Ravelry, but yeah. But anyway, so I've got my gorgeous Tunisian top, which I really want to be working on, but I haven't touched in weeks. I've got my my Jethro cardigan. I've now picked the buttons. I just need to measure it out and pin where I want the buttons to go, and then I can continue on. And so those are two big ones I really want to get done. And the Jethro's cardigan, like, I'm basically up to the last half of the button band and then just need to do the sleeves. So it's nearly done, right? It's so close to done. Anyway, it's not like I can wear it. It's definitely too warm. Definitely too warm to wear it. Anyway, so it's, you know, there's no rush on it, but I want to be working on it. So instead I'm working on all these Christmas projects that I've got, and I thought I was up to a different point with one of them, and I realized yesterday I've got like days more work to do on it, and I'm just like, man, I am running out of days here. But in saying that, yesterday I thought the date was the 16th. So I've actually gained 4 days. So that's nice too. Like when you like, you have one of those days where you're just like, oh my gosh, it's this date and I'm running out of time. And then the next morning you wake up and you're like, I'm just looking at the calendar. Like, I was looking at the calendar, like commitments and stuff coming up, and I was just like, wait a second, it's the 12th. What? So I've gained 4 days back, so I may get it finished in time. Fingers crossed. If only I could work on it during this live stream. Anyway, so I've gotten half of this done. I do have some ends in there. I'm not going to do anything about those. I was like working over most of them, but these green ones, I can't remember if I worked over them or not, and same with those 2 silver ones, so I just don't want to trim them down and then have it unravel. Now, let me know in the chat, do you have Christmas balls? So like, you know, Christmas ornaments, like the balls, the baubles. The baubles. Do you have any of these that are just starting to look like it's time for them to go. They're getting a bit rough and ready around the edges. So, and only the ones that don't have, you know, personal attachment to them. Like obviously I've got some Christmas decorations that are handmade or that have, you know, sentimental meaning. They're never going. They could look all Raggedy Andy and be hanging off the tree. They're staying. But I'm talking like your mass produced cheap ones that you just add on for pops of color or whatever. If you got any of those that are just looking worse for wear, we don't have to throw them away. You know, we can keep them as long as they've got their little spot for their ties. We can keep them. And even if they don't have their little spot for their tie, I wonder if I can take one of these off. Does it? I don't want to break it, but sometimes these come off, but there's still a little lip. When they're crocheting these things or knitting them, you can just pull them right up over the top, do a bow, and actually create your own loop. So even if it's missing its top, you can still keep using it, right? Or if you want to go to that next level, you can just go and buy the little styrofoam balls. Now, I priced the styrofoam balls, and I don't know what they're like in the US, but it was cheaper for me to buy a 40 pack of these iridescent, which you can't really see, but in real life, they're kind of doing the opalescent thing. I mean, this one's pretty grubby. It's had my hands all over it. Let me just see if you can. There you go. See how that's a bit opalescent? This one's a fresh one out of the pack. It was cheaper for me to buy a 40 pack of these than 10 styrofoam. So guess what I did? These. Now, I don't want to give away the pattern, but I do want to keep working. So, the pattern is linked in the description, and the I also have it over on Ravelry. This one is set up on Ravelry. Get rid of that. I need this one. Set up over on Ravelry, so it's all there, and then you can, you know, just dig in. I dug into my scraps. The other thing is this is a pattern using 4-ply cotton, right? So the designer uses Katona and stuff like that. If you've got 4-ply sock yarn, I was looking at like what my options were, and I could either finally use up some of these bonbons, or I've got like an absolute, like I've got a massive bag of end of skeins. Now, I think I just heard a courier delivery, and I do have some yarn coming. So I don't know if that's what's arrived. So I'm just going to pop out for just a double second and check, because these are the little bonbons from Nurturing Fibers. So this is actually a mix of the Eco Bamboo, the Eco Cotton, and the Eco Fusion. Now the Eco Cotton I think is technically a DK, right? But it's still quite fine. So, you know, I'm mix and matching. I don't care. But like there's all these other warmer autumny colors as well, which I could totally use if I wanted. But I just thought I'd pick out these colors. But bear with while I go checking to see if that was a courier delivery. No, you can't go Vampire. Well, I mean, choices were made. It was not parcels. Much disappointment. Okay, let's have a look here in the chat before I go on. Sarah says, okay, let me rephrase. I don't want to be frantically knitting for my father on Christmas Day again. Did that once and I'm still teased about it. Okay, I get that now. I get it now. Game Widows is going to start spinning some very special fibre that she got from Secret Santa. It's Grey Gotland. From the source. Sal, she doesn't have a page. Okay. Not all designers do, but I just thought maybe I was going insane. Sarah Dawn can't type and cook, so she'll be lurking while she gets dinner on the stove. Good job. Does anyone else think the whole music sounds like the Bloodhound Gang? I don't know what the Bloodhound Gang is. I'll have to check that out. The Lone Wanderer's Bunker, great to see you. Hi, hope all is well. Everything is going good. Going good. All right, coffee time. All righty. I need to make the second half of this. Now, I was using a 2.5, wasn't I? Put that off to the side. Now, I'm not going to be, this isn't a tutorial, right? So if you want this pattern, the link is in the description. Go grab it. It's free. Unless you want the PDF, then that's not free. Let me find so I can look at it, because I don't know how to do it without the pattern. Not that clever. I've only done, so far I've worked this much, you know, it's not like I've made a ton of them or anything. Oh, goodness me. So yeah, while I'm using like a 4-ply, if you've got the bigger baubles, totally jump it up. If you've got 8-ply, use that. Like, use whatever you've got. I plan on trying this out with my other colors. So with my Australian wool, I'm just grabbing those. With these, I'm totally planning on making the bigger bauble with these. So, you know, like, use what you've got. You don't need to buy anything for this. Go stash diving. So yeah, you know, it's really easy to be like, oh, you need, you know, a special mini pack from such and such. No, stash dive, total stash dive. You don't need to go shopping. You don't need anything. You can just hide ornaments on the tree that are looking a bit aged and give them a pretty new coat. I was definitely thinking that Game Widows inspires me. Every year well, I don't know if she's done it this year, but every year she does these like mini birds or mini sweaters or mini Christmas stockings or anything. It makes like a full garland out of them or something. Anyway, every year I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally do that. I should totally do that. And I'll do it for Christmas next year because I don't have time this year because obviously I've decided to do it on the 12th of December, right? And then I never do. And then I regret it every year. So, you know, this year, like every other year, I still haven't done it. That's right. I like to go from the back for these, just because it puts the knot in a different spot. Boop-a-doo-doo, pull it tight, trim it off, pull that through, and then pull that center tighter as well. That's not tight enough, make it tighter. There we go. And then, just because I just want to be able to go, I've done all of these and I don't need to I made the tail way too long on this. There's no reason a tail is this long. And I really should have dug out my chibis to find a smaller weave-in needle, but you know, I didn't. Worked for the other bauble, it'll work for this one too. Just weave it in a little. Come on, little. You worked before. There we go. Just weave them in as I go a little bit. And then I just use that cool method that I've been using for the Jethro sweater for the rest of the rows. It's just with this magic loop that I like to... Oh, see if you can get those little minis back, yeah? Or maybe he might like to have them around. Maybe he likes having them at Christmas. But if he's not using them, they need to be somewhere where they're being put on display, for sure. Alrighty. So our friend Leanne, who is not in the chat today, we were chatting about... it's kind of one of those things where it seems a few different groups of people were all talking about the same thing at the same time. And let me know in the chat if you're a crocheter. So first things first, if you're a crocheter, let me know in the chat. And then we just go through and do the little, pull it through the back loop thing. I know this seems like a lot of work, but it actually is less hard on my brain than weaving in the ends. Sally's a crocheter? I'd hope so. With a username like Sal's Crochet Creation, I'd be concerned. There'd be concerns. Artsog, yes, I do the crochet. Love that. That's gold. All right, our second color was the pink. Yep, Vampire prefers it to knitting. Kelly crochets. Excellent. So one of the things, like we were talking about it at the Caffeinated Crafters meetup last week, and then it must have come up in something that Leanne was doing as well, because she wasn't at Caffeinated Crafters. And we were talking about the difference between crochet stitches if you are a rider, a lifter, or a yanker. And on Thursday, there were people in our group that were just like, wait, what now? Okay, I'm just reading the instructions so I can keep going. And it was talking about how when you get gauge, so when you make a gauge swatch, like, so everyone's sitting down because I said gauge swatch, but when you have to do a gauge swatch and you find that the gauge width is right, but the height is wrong, so you're either too long or too short, and you need to decide what you're going to do, because if you've got the right width and the height is out, changing your needle's not going to solve, or changing your hook's not going to solve that. And it made me realize that I knew I was a rider, like back from years ago, but I didn't realize I was still a rider. I thought, you know, that my it had changed, but it hasn't, because I realized that I do the downward angle crochet. Sally says my height is always out. So yeah, so Leanne shared with us this really fantastic video, which I'll have to dig out a link for. If one of the mods could find that for me out of our other chat, that would be great. But Leanne shared this fantastic video that just went through the different, like whether you're the yanker, so that's the yanker is where you like pull on the yarn between every single portion of the stitch and it makes your stitch shorter. Whether you're a rider, which is sort of what I do, which is where you sort of just, you don't really pull it up, but you that your hook is always on like this sort of like little angle, like pointing down, because you're just sort of bringing things to just the right, like just matching heights. You're not lifting it, you're not pulling it up, and you're not yanking it down. So it's sort of like the in-betweeny land. And then the lifter is somebody who, hang on, I just finished the stitch, is somebody who comes in and like sort of pulls it up, and so, and then makes the stitch height there, so it makes the stitch taller. And so I was just like, it was really curious to me that that there are crocheters who don't know if they're a yanker, a lifter, and a rider, because like a few, you know what it's like, there's little trends, there's little things where it's like, oh, I know what kind of you know, crocheting I do, or you know, like, and you know, it's like you just, every now and again there's a little trend that goes around where everyone like works out what they do that's different, or you know, learns a new thing. And it happened, I want to say, last time I remember having this conversation was early 2000s, or yeah, early 2000s. Abby was a baby, so it doesn't mean the conversations haven't been happening. That's just the last time I remember having the conversation. What have I done there? But yeah, so I was like, oh, that's come back around again. And, you know, again, like anything, as things ebb and flow, some people didn't know what kind of crocheter they were. So I think it's actually a really important thing to work out, because different designers might be yanker, lifters, or pullers. And if you are a rider like I am, and your stitches are too high, it means that there's a very good chance that the designer is a yanker, which means she's pulling on this, or they are pulling on the stitches like all the way through the process to create shorter, squatter stitches. Now, it's not to say any one of those is correct or incorrect. That's not how this is. It's just what is. It's just what is. It's just how you do it. But understanding how you do it to try and match up with how a designer does it, so that you can be getting the gauge, you know, it can make life easier. Just understanding things. Understanding the things. And bring that through. So, but yeah, so does anybody here in the chat who does crochet know if they are a yanker, a rider, or a lifter? Kelly says, I struggle with designers that are lifters. As a rider, doing this is very hard. I would agree with you there for sure. Bianca has no idea. That's all right. We can work it out. Next time one of us is watching you crochet, Bianca, we can tell you which one you are just by looking at what you're doing. Artseg says, not a clue. And if you're making things that don't really have like a gauge, or the gauge is not, you know, it's, you're not trying to make a garment to make it fit or something like that, then it's not, it doesn't actually matter that much. Do you know what I mean? Blue is next. This is such a pretty blue. Honestly, such a pretty blue. I wish I had more of it. This is all I've got. This is all I've got of the blue was the bonbon. I'm not telling you the instructions because designers deserve you to go to their websites to go and look at the designs there. So you can see what I'm doing, but hang on a second, I'm just double checking. You can see what I'm doing here. That's fine, but I'm not going to be telling you what I'm doing here. You'll need to go over to the designer's website to go and check it out. It's free. It's not like like you must go and pay $11 billion. No, it's a free pattern, and the designer only makes their money on free patterns by you dealing with the ads on their website, or you know, things like that. So you've got to bear with it. Weaving the ends in as I go, so I don't have to deal with them later. Oops. I've been doing so many treble clusters lately, or double crochet clusters. I went to do it again. Oh my gosh. Just do a double crochet, you lunatic. There we go. Oh my gosh. How hard was that? That was so hard just to do a double crochet. Sarah says, I didn't know about this in crochet, but from description, I'm definitely a yanker. It actually explains a few things. Thank you. Yeah, it's just one of these things. It's just an interesting thing that we should know about our own crafting journey, and just helps us to either get gauge, or especially if you're a designer, if you can explain that in your designs as well, that, you know, I am a yanker, and if you are not getting the same height gauge as me, you may want to pull on your stitches a little more. Oh, come here. Pain in the... I've got two ends to deal with. Sit there. Alrighty. Oh, I see what the problem was. I did a cluster again. Oh my goodness. What have I done there? Did I do 2 stitches? Yeah, it just looks skinny. It's just skinny. Dinner is cooking. I'm being boring. It's mushroom and onion soup, and I'm debating if I want a homemade mocha. I don't understand what the debate is. Does anyone else understand what the debate is? Make the mocha. Now, have I done clusters? They just look... I think I have to go and check. No, they were fine. They were perfectly fine stitches that I've pulled out now. Oh, goodness me. Just because I'm paranoid that I was doing clusters instead of just a couple of trebles. Oh my goodness. Also, this is much finer than the yarn I've been working with. Not a bad thing, just my fingers are like 2 mil hook. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? End of the world. It's fine. It's fine. Alrighty. It's all good. It's all good. There's nothing to see here. Actually, there is. There's plenty to see here. Don't go anywhere. Like, let's not say that on our YouTube channel where we need you to keep watching. Let's just not. So, is anybody making Christmas decorations this year or making Christmas presents? Like, what's happening for you crafting Christmas? Like, what's going on? Let me know in the chat. Oh, I nearly did it again. Stop that. This blue is so dang pretty. Alrighty, join up to there. There we go. Snippety, snippety. Now, I did notice that I carried the blue and the pink through one set. I didn't want either of them doing that. There we go. Pink. I want you out as well. All right, they can both be trimified because they've both been worked in. I just trim them a little shorter. They can have little tails. It's fine that they have little tails. Well, I can just have a slightly shorter tail. Alrighty, next color. Oh, actually, I want to do the thing. Do the thing. That very, very professional. Let's just do the thing. Arts eggs. We'll start with Sarah. Lol, debate over. I'll go make the mocha. Then I'll get back to making the Christmas mittens. Nice work. Sarah says no decorations, but I've got a pair of mitts done and one in progress, and I have a pic over on my Instagram if people want to see it. Ah, that sounds cool. I might have to go and have a look. Artsug says, not making any at the moment, but perhaps after the jumper is finished. We're having a delayed Christmas year, so I still have a little time. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Like, sometimes just having those extra few days makes a big difference. Sarah says, the mitts I finished are for my photographer and friend, and the mitts on the needles are for my dad. I have to be oblique because he follows me on IG. Okay, so we can't go, oh my God, Dad's going to love those mittens in comments on your Instagram and not expect you to delete it really quickly. Kelly says, not making festive things, but got gifted a couple of sweater patterns. So need to cast on one or maybe even both. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I wish I could just, I don't know what possessed me to make some of the Christmas presents. Like, well, I've made a lot of Christmas presents this year. Usually I make a couple, but this year I'm making a lot. And so I've got to start blocking some of the ones that are finished and get those washed and blocked and grab some photos so that once they've been received by their giftee, I can share the pics. You guys know one of them. Actually, you guys know 3 of them. So the mosaic, the hot pink mosaic is going to somebody. The Attic 24 is going to somebody, and the ripple, the black and multicolored ripple blanket is going to somebody. This is the green I was using. Yeah, my only regret with using this green is it is a bit chunkier than the rest. So, yeah. Join in. Alrighty. that. What made me think about the riders and lifters and stuff was actually part of this pattern, because there's a spike stitch, and I always think about how lifters must just like enjoy doing spike stitches so much more, because they already sort of pull things up to the right level. So that's kind of like how you got to think about it. If you are, and that's how I think about it, which is what made me think about it. Thinking about lots of things at the moment. My brain's going a little haywire. But that's sort of how I think about, like, if I'm working on a pattern from a designer who gets who uses, like, who is a lifter, and I'm a rider. That's kind of what I do, is I just think of it like spike stitches where I have to just bring it up to the same height. I really do think I made some clusters here, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna work through them. Just gonna work through them. Yeah, spike stitch is not my favorite either, but they're effective. Got to give them that. They're effective. Let me have a look here. Knitspin Girl says, I've made and handed out all of my knitted whips in Christmas bauble. I made 36 of the things. Wow. Okay. Sarah says, I've also gotten a subtle request for a baby blanket for my new step niece. She was born in October, but that can be a 2025. Yeah, sometimes you just have to accept that that's not going to happen. Alison, it's great to see you. Currently weaving in some red, white, and green Christmas hand towels out of Bendigo 4-ply. Do you know what? There's nothing like a hand-woven hand towel. Oh, come on, little doobie thing. Let me in. I can't see between there. There it is. It had to make life trickier for me, didn't it? Let's have a look here. Sarah says, I struggle with the tension on spike stitches because I yank on the yarn. Yeah, absolutely you would struggle. Like if you're pulling the yarn tight and then pulling that tight, your spike stitches are going to compress everything. And you know what? In some designs, that's what they're supposed to do. They're creating texture. But for the most part, we're just supposed to be bringing the loop and pulling it up to the same height as the rest of the stitches and then bringing it through. It just depends. Oh, you couldn't find the link? That's all right. That's all right. I'm just trying to think where I saw it. Oh, no, it's not a treble, Chantelle. It's just a single. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, and I'm not sure if you just realized that, but see, did you see how I mixed the two crochet languages there? My brain knew what was happening. My mouth didn't. So a single crochet and a treble. So I'm actually doing American singles and American doubles, or Australian singles and no, I can't remember. I can't talk about it. I can just do it. Get out of the way, little tail. Sue Singleton, good to see you. This hook is a 2.5 millimeter. So the pattern, I'm just using what the pattern recommended. So it's got the hook size and everything. So for the 4-ply or the fingering weight cottons, it's a 2.5 mil hook. Oh, again with the treble. Stop that. My brain's just like stuck in treble. And I did it again. Don't do it. We are right at the end. Just get through. You can do this, little hands. Oh, the joys of different crochet. Oh, I know, right? Many years ago, when I very first started learning crochet, I learned from a book. Turns out the book was an American book. I didn't realize there was a difference. Anyway, I went to the local yarn store, which was one of those yarn stores that keep everything in their bags, and they're like, you can't touch the yarn unless you buy the yarn, which I didn't realize how much I hated that attitude in a yarn store till I went to other yarn stores. But they had a lot of yarn and they were very nice ladies. They just wouldn't let you touch the yarn unless you're planning on buying it, right? So I went in there and I said, look, I've just learned how to crochet, or I'm learning how to crochet. I need a basic baby blanket that I can do. I want to make it as a gift. I've got tons of time. I had like 6 months or something. So, you know, for a little cot blanket, that I think that's tons of time. Anyway, so they've helped me with a pattern with some Peter Pan yarns. It looked so gorgeous. And for the life of me, I could not make the stitches in the pattern look like the stitches in the picture. Anyway, made a beautiful blanket. My squares came out much smaller. I had to make more squares. And it was very frustrating for me that I couldn't make it look at the picture, but I didn't tell the people that I made it for that it didn't look like the picture. Turns out the pattern was written in the Australian British terms, and I'd learnt the US terms, and therefore I was mixing the stitches up, so all my stitches were shorter, hence the smaller squares. Now I've kept one of those squares because I had one extra. And now I look back at that square, and do you think for the life of me, I can't work out what I did, short of actually unraveling stitches and looking at how I constructed the stitch. But it was a really cute square. Gosh. What color is next? Silver. Which is the silver I use? That one there is the open one. Yep. Alrighty, next row. Scroll down on the pattern, Chantelle. Scroll down. Okay. Oh, we're up to the easy stuff. We've done all the interesting stuff. Now we're up to the easy stuff. Has anyone seen Ronin 47? I've gotten halfway through, kept crying, had to turn it off. I didn't realize that it was a blubbery movie. I thought it was an action movie, and I was like, I need an action movie today. My brain needs an action movie in the background. And so I thought, oh, I haven't seen this one before. It looks good. Samurais and sword fighting and, oh my God, blubbery mess. So I'm paused at probably at a pinnacle point where I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, and I don't know if I'm going to cry harder. So I had to pause it because I needed to crochet, and I can't see to crochet with the tears. So I had to change the show. Again, where is cried in the Full Monty? Okay. All right. I don't remember. I know I've seen the Full Monty. I don't remember it though. Like, I don't remember the storyline enough. Knitspin Girl says, I learned UK terms. US confuses me. I have to go through a US pattern with a stitch dictionary and pencil to translate everything. Yeah, you just get used to what you learnt with, is what it boils down to. So, I didn't realize, like, way back in the day that I had learnt. Oh, Sal says I was going to watch Death at Pemberley. Turns out I've seen it already. I really enjoyed that. I was going to watch it again. And the only reason I've watched it at all is I think, who is it? Is it Prime? Where like, this one's going to be leaving soon. And I was just like, wait, I didn't even know that was in here. All right, I'll watch that. I also really enjoyed Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. Now, I'm not a zombie movie fan. I don't get into the zombie movie genre that much, but that one was fun. It was really well done, I thought. It was a nice mix of the two genres. Let me see. I inherited a whole bunch of my mum and grandmother's patterns, and the crochet patterns are a mix of US and UK terms. I don't know how my mum kept it straight. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I think you just get used to it. Like, I switch between the two. I just need to know, like, okay, what am I looking at here? Sal says, I think I'll have to watch it again because I haven't seen Ep 3 and I don't remember it at all. I watched Pride, Prejudice and Zombie on your recommendation and loved it. It's fun, right? It's just fun. Sarah says, I need to see Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. I haven't seen it and keep hearing good things. I saw it on one of the streaming services, but it's gone off there now. I don't know how. I would just check whatever streaming services or cable TV you've got and see if it's there. I wouldn't run out and buy it or anything if you can hire it maybe, but I wouldn't buy it until you've seen it. Like personally, I would buy the DVD. I would buy a DVD or Blu-ray of it just because I've enjoyed it so much. I want to be able to watch it whenever I want to watch it. It's one of those movies where I can rewatch it. And so the second I realize there's something I rewatch that I want to watch it whenever I want to watch it, not when a streaming service happens to have it, that's when I go, right, I need to find the physical media. So I have all of the Star Treks. I have Babylon 5. Sorry, I should rephrase it. I have all of the Star Treks up to Enterprise. I don't have the new Star Treks. I do want Picard. I'm not so... and Discovery. No, Discovery? No, Strange New World. I want Picard and Strange New World. Discovery, I'm really... The problem I have with Discovery is... like, a lot, right? I have a lot of problems with Discovery. But without Discovery, we wouldn't have gotten the others. So I'm like, I don't want to be a grizzle grump about it, because without it, we wouldn't have gotten any of the others. Pride, Prejudice and Zombies is on Stan. Okay, I don't have Stan. It's like the one I don't have. Then I went pink. Pink. I'm really hoping this fits my ball, right? Like this side sort of fits. I think it needs like a little bit of a stretchy stretch. It'll be like, yes, it fits. But yeah, we'll make it fit. The other one that I really love, and I've been hearing all these rumors about a reboot or like a part 2, and I'm like, oh, please let those rumors be true, which is Constantine. So, because I love, not the series, but the movie with Keanu Reeves. I love Constantine. I think it's such a good movie. And I actually rewatched it yesterday. That's how much I like it. I just randomly rewatch it. That's what I jumped to when I needed to stop crying over Ronin 47. I watched Constantine. I was like, right, I'll have another Keanu Reeves movie, one that I know I don't cry in. So, that's what I did. Sarah says her library has a DVD. There you go. You can borrow it. Oh, you like the Constantine series? I just haven't seen it. I don't know if I like it or not. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's on any... I just haven't... It's not that I'm like, I have seen it somewhere, like I've seen it available somewhere and gone, I'm not watching that. I just haven't seen it to see it. Kelly says, I read the book before the movie came out and it was pretty funny. Is that the Pride, Prejudice and Zombies? Yeah, look, and isn't there another one? There's one with, I could have sworn there's one with like Cthulhu or something like that. There's these Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. There's like a series of like the different Jane Austens plus something else. And so, yeah, I'm just like, that would be one I would be curious about as well. Bianca didn't like the series, only watched the first episode. Yeah, okay. Sarah says, my go-to is actually video games if I'm having a crap day. Look, I do have some mindless games on my iPad that sometimes I just let them suck some hours out of my day. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't install big games on my computer because I will just play them and play them and play them. I'll be like, yeah, I'll get my work done soon. So I have no games on my work computers at all. I can't trust myself to have them on there. They're just not on there. And what'll happen is I'll install it back down from my Steam library every now and again, like when I'm like on a holiday or something like that or on a break. And I'll install a game or two. And then once my holiday or break is finished, I uninstall the games. Because if I leave them there, like, oh, look, I'll just play for 10 minutes just to ease my brain. No, that's not what happens. It's not how it works. That's not how I work. So I have to uninstall the games. I don't uninstall them from my library or anything like that, so I can keep my progress. I just remove the actual game, like from my local computer. I don't remove it from the Steam library or anything. Join up, little Jan. Don't want to have to do it again. There we go. Snippety, snippety. Bloop. Alrighty. Wolfenstein. I remember Wolfenstein. Gosh, that was such a good game. And there was another one I used to play. It was sort of like the same genre, but a little more ethereal. And you had like bows and arrows and like gloves that were like manacles sort of thing, and not manacles, like they had all like spikes and stuff on them. What was that called? I can picture the imagery. I can hear the music. It was, I can't think of what it was. If anyone in the chat knows what it was, let me know. I'm talking 90s, 90s gaming here. My ultimate favorite game, and it was the first game I ever played like as an online gamer, was Settlers. Not Settlers of Catan or anything like that, just Settlers. And every now and again I go hunting to see if I can find it to play it, and apparently it's back out again. Oh, I get to do blue again. So I'm going to keep the blue attached because I'm going to join with the blue. No, not Doom, although Doom was good. Heretic. It was Heretic. But same sort of deal. First person shooter with a map, that sort of thing. Just different kinds of weaponry. That's all. Oh, that's a way too long a tail. That's way too long a tail that I'm just going to snip off. The other day we had a film crew at our local shopping area to do scenes of a new movie called I Know What You Did Last Summer. So we had an American emergency vehicle and police cars appearing. Interesting. Stardew was also a big one for me, thanks to Chantelle and Jackie, but I haven't played it in a while. I have not got Stardew installed right now because that's one that I would just rabbit hole. It's such a fun little game, but I will totally rabbit hole that game. Just get sucked into it for hours and hours. And, like at the end of the day or something, that's fine. That's fine. But, I try to, like what I try to do for my work is I try to do some work, have my lunch break, do some more work. And like, so what happens is I'm like, oh, I'm on my lunch break. I'll play my game. And next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock. And you're just like, oh, bugger. And you've got to work through the night to catch up on your work because you were messing around playing a game. Like, it's just frustrating. So I can't trust myself to keep an eye on the time when I'm playing games. It's all it is. I'm untrustworthy when it comes to games. So just don't install that game. That's all I have to do. Arctic says that's an old one. I haven't played Heretic in 20 years. Me either. I haven't played it in so long. Like, we'd probably need an emulator for it, right? Because, unless they're rejigging it, which they could have done. I don't know. I haven't even looked it up in 20 years. Unless they're rejigging it, I don't think... What have I done there? Goodness me. Let's try again. There's something up here. Alrighty. Yeah, no, it's an old one. And what was it? Privateer was another game I used to like to play. Same sort of time. Privateer and Heretic were my two big games that I played a lot of. Obnoxious alarms. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But see, my problem is I'm like, oh yeah, I'll totally just play for like half an hour or so and then I'll finish off, and it's like you don't look up. The local pub and supermarket had different names on them, and they filmed actors walking through the local park, but security was everywhere to stop people from taking pics. Ah. Oh, Artix is finding a copy that runs today. Quest accepted. Yeah, Sarah says I had a bunch of old games on CD-ROM that just won't run anymore. Yeah, they're just not designed for the machines that we've got anymore. So, but there's got to be like an emulator or something, right? Like, surely. Alrighty. Now, the pattern says to cut this off and sew the pieces together. I'm just like, dude, I've got a crochet hook right here. Like, dude, let me just crochet them together, right? We'll go back loops, because back loops are awesome. Yeah, some of them have gotten releases and remakes. I get frustrated with like having to buy a new release because like I've already bought the game. Like, why do I need to buy it again? But at the same time, like, it doesn't work. Like the edition I bought no longer functions. So I kind of do need to just buy the new game, right? Suck it up, big girl. Do. Got to get my tongue in the right spot to crochet this together. This blue is so pretty. I'm so happy I've got it for just something a little bit extra. Out of the way, little tail. You are not required. So what I like to do is crochet up part way. Oh, that tail is trapped now. Hang on a second. I've got to get it out of the way. Get out of the way, little tail. Oh, why is this cuff ribbing taking so long? Oh, it's our fault. It's our fault. I know it's our fault. Because it's very hard to knit and type chat at the same time. Unless you like doing voice to text, which we totally need to normalize for Yarncraft chats. Let me just check where I'm up to here. Oh, I'm like thinking I must be like, oh, no. Oh, you're kidding. Heretic and Hex. Oh, Hexen. That was another one that was so good. Artag, I need you to send me a link in Discord, dude. I may have just hummed the Mario music and I'll get like a copyright strike or something for it. It's pretty normal. And like, you know, when I'm doing something around the house and I'll like do. My husband like, what are you up to? You're sneaking around. Do. Or as soon as you figure out, you should just be able to just cut and paste it directly into, like, I don't have the links turned off in Discord like I do, or at least I don't think I do. Do I have links turned off in Discord? I don't know. I didn't think I did. Maybe I do. Alrighty, we need to see if this dude fits. Try again, little stitch. Try again. All right, let's pull a tail here. Okay. Come here, little Christmas ball. Get in there, little ends. Bloop. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Look at that. Like Abby calls that the cricket stitch because a lot of my Christmas balls I stitch the same way. I like it. All right. Sal says copy pasta. Is that really what you wanted to write, Sal? Is that what you wanted to write? I don't know if it was. Alrighty. Yay, this is going to fit and it's going to be so cute. So cute. Oh, it is what you wanted to type. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. I shall reverse my judgment. Am I doing single crochets on one side now and slip stitches on the other? Let me just look. Bring it through. I think that's exactly what I'm doing. Hang on a second. Yarn over, draw through. Yarn over, draw through. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was doing there. I think I need to pull that. I don't know. I don't know if I was. I don't think I'm doing anything different than what I was doing before. Yeah, I think I'm doing different things. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. Look, it looks fine. Whatever it is I'm doing, I've been doing it from the start. So we'll just keep going. Except I did accidentally do a couple into the same stitches, so I'll fix that up. Okay, so that's there. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. What day is it? It's all right. I gained some days, so I've got to be happy about that, right? Get out of the way, little tail. This is difficult enough without you jumping in and getting in my face. Try again. I just yanked the needle out of my stitches while doing the magic loop. Oh no! Oh, can you pick them back up? Please tell me you can pick them back up. I know not everybody can, but I'm really hoping you can. I'm going to add more coffee to that mocha. I was thinking butterscotch schnapps, but coffee is fine. Twisted stitches can be fixed. Yes, they can. Twisted stitches can totally be fixed. It's just getting them on the needles before they run away. That's the trick. Oh, I need to pause. Get the bauble back in the bag. Alrighty. Did I go too far? Now I can't fit. Oh, is in. Get in. You can do this. We have the technology. Ha 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 ha. Alright, this is where it gets a bit trickier because you've got to do it around the ball. I mean, it's not hard. It's just I've got to, you know, watch what I'm doing. Oops. Back loops only. There we go. Yay! Little tail, because I do like to weave in this guy. It is done. And I did. I changed. My joining stitches changed in there because I wasn't concentrating. But it's done. I'm not undoing it. I'm gonna weave in the ends before I change my mind and undo it and fix it. Weave in the end. Haha. Ends woven in. Can't go back and change it now. No one's ever gonna know. There they are. Look at that. Look. Pretty, 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 pretty ugly. That's all right. It's gonna hang like that anyway. Let's see. Do we have a spare hook? I have a spare hook. Ready? We're gonna go big screen over here. Gonna hang it straight up. Actually, should we just quickly take a little photo? Take a photo. Camera. How do you like that? Done scares. All right. There we go. I've got a little hook that I already set up here. Bing. Take another photo. There we go. Done. I'll get those photos up onto, just double checking, make sure. All right. That was fun. That was fun. And I've got so many more of these colors. Also, I have about 30 of these left. And I have some of the big ones. I see how this one's missing its little top. I'm still going to use it because I can make my own top. So I can just crochet a little crochet chain thing. I recommend though, if you possibly can, you can do it over any bauble, but if you're going to do it over a color you don't like, make sure you're using one of the more closed up variations, like this guy. If you really hate the ball that's inside, you can see the ball, like see how this one's like, it's one of the clear ones, so you can see the ball, right? See, look, this Abby calls my little cricket thing. So if you really dislike the ball or it's really awful color, make sure you do one like this guy here that's a lot more closed up. This one's a lot more open. So, but my balls I actually bought for this, so that, like, these were just cheap, right? So they don't look great because they were just cheap. So I didn't care, but I don't mind a bit of silver showing through. These were super cheap, which I was just shocked about because they're so cute. I actually just have hung, they look like bubbles hanging off the Christmas tree. So I've actually hung some just as is on the tree, and then they get their little crochet hats, their little crochet coats. There we go. Do I want to have a go at a bigger one? Should we do it again with, like, do another one but with the thicker yarn? Let me know in the chat. We've got a little bit of time. We won't get it all finished, but you know, we might. Well, we won't, because it took how long to do this little tiny one. But I've got all those scraps, so I can make more little ones. I can make a few that match. I may even, if I finish these blankets in time, or I just need a break from blankets, I may even make a few of these little ones to gift as well. But I'm not making any promises, even to myself, because not good, right? Just not good. Now, why aren't you attached? The green? Go back in the basket. Because I've also got the green and the red, the ruby red that I made my stockings with. So, so I've got the watermelon and the lime, which I love together, but I've also got like the more traditional green and red. So I've got both of those, and they'll all go with the winter white. And then just for excitement, oh, hello, excitement. We could also go a bit hardcore and go with the agapanthus and black and do a bit more of a, like, you know, the black, white and the blue kind of look. Like, we've got options, man. Come out of here. I've got little bits of leftovers. I'm hurting now. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, my GOG for now wish list just went up to $200. Gosh. This could be dangerous. Do I want to, I don't know if I want to look. Crafted out for the morning. Yes, sometimes you just got to step back. As Esme Sky, good to see you. Just stopping by to say hi and lurk a little while the kids are getting ready for bed. Nice work. Nice work. All right. Oh, you changed the link? Okay, I'll check that. Yeah, definitely rest your arms. Rest your arms. Let me look. I think I would like to use, because I've got another one in the pink already and in the lime already, but I like to have a third. So I like to do a pink, a lime and a white, and then or a pink, a lime and a multicolor. I like to have 3 because my brain says odd numbers are better. I don't hate even numbers. Oh, you missed me fit here. Look, this is what you fit. Come off the little hook we finished this guy. Link is in the description if you want to make one. Pattern's a free pattern. It looks like the designer says that you can either use it free on her website or you can pay for an ad-free PDF. So if you're going to use it a few times, it might be worth just getting the PDF. Honestly, there's a lot of ads on her website. Sally says, good thing I'm on a MacBook because most of the games are only playable on a PC. I have an old PC laptop that might do the job, at least for, you know, a couple of reminiscent games. But yeah, I've got my Mac laptop now and my Mac Mini that I live stream with, but I do still have a Windows i7 ROG Strix, Asus ROG Strix Gaming, but it's old. It's 2019. The coffee is cold. I didn't put the lid on like an idiot. Note to self, remember to put the lid on your coffee cup if you actually want the coffee to stay hot. I bet the tea's hot. Oh, hang on a second. You know, when I made the mint sliced tea today, oh, I've got a feeling it's going to be too hot. There's heat coming out of the top. All right. Is that just a little bit too hot? I'm going to take its little lid off. I wonder if you guys can see the steam. Let's see. Can you see the steam? No steam for you? It's a bit hot. I'll just keep the lid off just momentarily. Just momentarily. Alrighty. Let's do this one again with chunkier yarn. I'm going to need chunkier hook. So if we were using a 2.5, I would say a 3.5 will probably be the one I want for this, because you want some tight stitches. Okay. Let me just scroll back to the start of the pattern, because, you know, I've only made one complete one now. Oh, magic loop. Magic loop, Chantelle. I split the yarn straight away. Good job, me. Try again. Sal says I'm very tempted to get a PC. Look, you can get a pretty decent PC that can do some basic level gaming for a really good price. Honestly, it's not Mac money. It's not Mac money. We're not hardcore gamers. We don't need like an i9, you know, like crazy massive processor graphics card. Like, I suppose you might be playing those games. I'm not. I don't need that level of computer, so I'm not going to build one. Blink, this laptop is 2016 laptop. It's potato, but it runs most things. I've only hit one game it can't run. See, I usually have whatever I run needs to be able to edit a video. So, yeah. Or run a live stream. And that's why I end up with, like, sort of grading up a little bit. Oh, you can totally, like, Sal, you can totally build out a computer to be Mac money. You can build a gorgeous machine for $3,000 Australian, right? But you can also build a solid machine for $1,000. So it's your call. Unless, of course, you're talking laptops and you don't have a monitor. Because I'm a monitor girl. I got monitors. Like, even though I got Macs, I got monitors. Sarah says this laptop runs DaVinci and OBS quite well. Good. Excellent. That's great. Then nurture it. What am I doing here? I need 12. Keep working. Oh, this is chunky. You should be able to see what I'm doing a bit easier now. Yeah, Game Widow's husband's a game tester, so yeah, he would need the insane setup. Like, would absolutely need it. Yeah, the biggest thing with DaVinci I found is that it's graphics card heavy, so it needs a decent graphics card to run it. But again, not crazy, just Yeah. Let me, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Pop one away because I made too many. Bring it around and work in the top. There we go. Alrighty. You get his hand-me-downs. Look, his hand-me-downs are probably still solid computers, honestly. Like, my husband gets my phone hand-me-downs because I'm like a heavy-duty phone user, and I sort of get the whoops, I was about to say a word. I get annoyed with battery life a lot faster than he does. So he's got my Galaxy S. I think it's an S21, S21 Ultra that he's got. And I was getting annoyed with it because the battery was like ticking me off. But because of how he uses a phone, and like he drives to work, so he has the phone plugged into the car, so it charges in the car. He can charge it at his desk at work if he really wants to, but he says he doesn't need to. But he charges it in the car on the way home, and he barely has to charge it at home because he gets 2 hours worth of charging in the car each way, and then he doesn't use his phone that much when he's at home. Whereas like my phone is in my hand checking the social medias, I'm researching stuff, you know, like it's always being used. So I get it. The second my phone doesn't last the majority of a day without needing a charge, like if I start the day on 100% and it's down to 20% by lunchtime, that's when I start going, I need a new phone. You know, and I go through and I double check all the phone usage and all the, you know, making sure I'm not being ridiculous with it. And okay, I got a question before I start this next round. What color do we want the spike stitch to be? Do we want it to be white going into pink, or I don't know, like let me know what color should the spike stitch be on this one so I can work the colors accordingly. Sarah says, I got this as a good gaming laptop when I got it, and so the graphics card is only now starting to say no. Yeah, that's good. They do last. They do last. Only thing with it now is that the keyboard is shot, so it's kind of more a desktop with external keyboard plugged into it. I'm okay with that. I don't take it a lot of places. Look, I'll be really honest. Even when I have a laptop, I've got like a stand where I have my Mac Mini and my laptop standing one next to each other, so I can just switch the plug, so I can go Windows or you know, I've actually just got it pulled out because I was looking at it out in the lounge room, but I usually have it just right there. Even then, I have a keyboard that I can just press a button and switch between which computer it's working on. Same with my mouse. So I'm using the same keyboard and mouse for whichever setup. So I just find it to be useful. It depends. Let's have a look here. Francis says pink. So do the spike stitch in pink. So I need to do the next round in white. Okay. Oh, do we have the same keyboard? Yeah, possibly. It's a what's it called? It's a Logitech. Oh my god. MX key. I like it. It's quiet. That's what I like about it. Okay. Not all keyboards are quiet enough. I think more keyboards need to be quiet. I know some people love a noisy keyboard. I'm not them people. I don't like mechanical keyboards. They're too noisy. They go clickety clickety click, and some people love the clickety click. They do. They love it so much. Me, I can't think of anything worse. I don't like it when I can hear my mouse click. Let's just say that. Like I've gotten rid of, like this mouse, I nearly got rid of. It took me a little bit to adjust to the fact that I could hear it click. I don't like hearing any of that sort of stuff while I'm working. I just want to be able to work and think without clickings, without tappings. Somehow Tim makes it his MX keys tappity tappity tap, and I don't know how he does it. And these are not inexpensive keyboards, and they're supposed to be super quiet, and he somehow is not, and it makes me angry. Oh, this is coming up really plump, like good, like I'm happy. I was a little worried that maybe I was going down a hook size too far on this yarn, but I really like it. Not quite the same, very close. Logitech here too. It's quiet. It has a built-in tablet phone stand. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've my iPad's got its own keyboard, so I use that. And my phone, I'm like, I'm pretty fast. I'm fast enough that I don't feel like I need to upgrade to a thing. What's really funny, and it's the general conversation now. My husband and daughter are even asking, which is, I've always been Windows, right? I've always been Windows PCs, always, up until I got my Mac Mini. And there we go. And that was because I had clients that were Mac users, and I was trying to describe how to do things, and it just wasn't working. I need to go back and catch that stitch so it looks the same. There we go. Try again, Chantelle. But yeah, so you know, it just came down to that it was time to go the Mac, and then I've found the Mac to be really good for creative stuff, which it was loath to admit, honestly. I did not want to spend Mac money on a laptop, and I did, and now I have my MacBook Pro M3, which is just unbelievable. Like, I'm really impressed. And now everyone's like, okay, you need an iPhone now. And now I'm just like, oh, do I? Maybe I do. Okay, I got my 24 stitches. Get that loop in the back. Oh, that was dumb. I didn't put the yarn at the back first. Hello, try again. And then snippity snips. Alrighty. That's looking cute. Oh, wait a second. I need an extra color. I'm gonna put the blue in with it, because it's the fourth row is the spike stitch. So it's one, that's two. Because here in the pattern, they've got 1 and 2 in the one paragraph, then 3's got a paragraph and 4's got a paragraph. So I messed that up. I did mess that up. So I think the blue will look all right. It's the right tone to go with this. It's better than the red or the green or even the black. Let me see. The only mobile thing I need is a good mobile wireless mic. I have a mic on a headset, but it's not very good. Yeah, look, I think look, I know you're a creator. One thing I will say is the Boya BY-M1 is a great lavalier mic. It's really inexpensive, right? It's like $15 US dollars. So I don't know what that is in Canadian money. It's about 22 Australian dollars. It's great. It's a fantastic, really budget lavalier. I've got 2 of them. I use them off and on. I would love to get the Rode Wireless Go, right? I love the Rode Wireless, but I will never click that little square to my shirt. That's not what it's for. It's meant to go in your pocket or on your belt clip, and you run a lav from that. So you're still wireless to the production. And it is a pet peeve of mine when I see people holding them or having them here where it's really obvious that they're there, clipped to your hat. Like, audio should be invisible. Unless you're on a podcast, then bring in a nice big mic like this, you know. Bring in the big guns. That's fine. But if you've got wireless audio, it should be invisible. You maybe see a little tiny lav poking out the top of your shirt. Run your lav cables up under the inside of your shirt or inside your jacket. Anything else is just does my head in, honestly. It just does my head in. I actually think this pink's going to look really nice next to this blue. Hey, we're doing the blue bits with the Merry Festivus, Sue. Have an awesome week. What have I done here? Where's my end? There it is. There's the end. Okay, I'll just leave that yarn bath over there. We'll ignore it for now. Sal says, as a Mac user and always have been for most of my life, I think I may struggle if I ever get a PC. They're actually getting closer together to use, honestly. Like they really are. It's so bizarre to see. All right, round 3. Let me just see what I got to do here. Chain 3. Do that. Chain, bring this in. Sorry, I've just got to get my brain around what I've got to do. All right, back into the chat. Back into the chat. Oh, hang on, didn't do what I needed to do there. Try it again. There's only 2 stitches, not 3. So I've got to flip it up into the second. And here comes my ball of regret for not sorting out the yarn bath. I didn't think I'd get to it that quickly. What are you caught on? Let me have a look here. Yourself. Good job. Well done you, yarn. Well done you. All right. I've been looking to find a decent Bluetooth mic since I'd rather not block the charging port of my phone if I don't have to. You can buy adapters that mean you can charge and have a mic plugged in at the same time. They exist. Ugreen, so on. It's not bad. It's cheap. It means you can plug in and charge at the same time as being able to have a 3.5mm microphone or headphone set up in it. So you've got options. There's options out there. So yeah. Yeah, you can buy the adapter. Where's mine? I normally have it just hanging here. Yeah, they exist. Chain. All right. Keep going. I don't need to carry the yarn anymore. That'll speed things up. Oh, Sarah, sometimes we just don't know stuff. We don't know what we don't know. Seriously. I would say Ugreen are a solid, like, off-brand for cables and connectors. I use a lot of their cables and connectors and have had no problems with any of them. It's just a case of making sure you've got the TRS versus TRRS when it comes to your audio. I'm just making sure you've got that set, like you choose the right one. Alrighty. Alrighty, I don't know about that white. I'm fine with the top white. I don't know off the top of my head, so I'll leave that one for now. That one's good. Trim him back. Okay. I'll trim that one back later. All right, now we're on to the spike stitch. Where's the pink? We want the pink for the spike. Alrighty. This blue looks so nice with this green and this cream, honestly. So let's... Alrighty. And then spike. Look at that. The pink was a good call for the spike stitch. 1, 2, and spike. Just got to make sure I'm pulling the spikes up far enough. It's called Agapanthus. It's a very pale blue. I don't know if I'd say cornflower. I do think it's a little bit cornflowery, honestly. I'll go to the big screen, the big camera. It does color better. There you go. So it's kind of like a purplish blue. It's like the Agapanthus flower. So it's kind of got like a hint of purple to it. But it's definitely a blue. So, yeah, it's not quite cornflower. It's not quite cornflower. Let's go back down here. But the pink looks so cute next to these colors. Sorry, the watermelon. It's watermelon. What am I doing here? Why is the yarn running? I caught the yarn in my... Get over there. Enough with you. Yeah, it's the Australian wool store, and it's her Agapanthus. I like this particular yarn. It's got a little bit of tooth to it. I don't think I'd be able to wear it next to my skin, but I can totally wear it as a hat. But just I have sensitive neck skin. But it's perfect for like all these Christmas decorations and the Christmas stockings and color work, because it's got that little bit of tooth, and it's got like 70 colors. So I love it. I absolutely love it. So I highly recommend. I know she ships international as well. And the Aussie dollar is pretty well always, in the toilet. Like, so if you're an international shopper, you're going to get a good deal. Seriously. So, yeah. And it's pure Australian wool. Oops, just a single spike. I do have to really think about the spikes to make sure I've got enough, like I'm pulling it up enough without it, pulling in on itself, because I've made it too taut. Oh, split the yarn. That takes some effort. How to do that? Now that horrible question of Canadian shipping, our shipping here is expensive even when there isn't a post. Australian post is disgraceful. I see people in the US complaining when they have to pay, oh my God, they've charged me $10 for postage. In Australia, it's $11 straight up, like for anything to be shipped. Like that's before it starts becoming a bulky bag. That's just anything that's not an envelope is $11. So in Australia, we totally feel you when it comes to expensive shipping. We just have to pay it or we don't get it. It's that simple. This pink as spike was such a good call. Oh, look at that. How nice. That looks a little hot there. It's not quite that hot. It's quite a watermelon-y. Thanks, Francis. I knew the pink and the green worked well together. I just didn't realize how nice it would look with this agapanthus. Wow. Yes, Australia, Canadian Post is not being friendly to their customers right now. Alrighty, now the blue is good. Trim that back. The pinks are good. Trim them back. What I need to do is I just weave in this white a little bit just so it can be trimmed back. Just run it down. It's probably fine. It probably just had a long tail on it. All right, trim that off. There we go. Everything's trimmed off under there. Next, so I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're onto just the single crochet rounds now. How many rounds will we need, do you think? That's the other thing. This yarn is pure wool, so it has stretch. Or maybe it doesn't have stretch. I think we're going to need all 3 rounds. Okay, so we need to go to the green again. Yeah, it doesn't sound good with Canadian Post. And using a courier instead of a postal service is ouchy. The other thing that you could do if you want to create like a bit of texture, and we might do it for this one, just for something a bit different, we might work in the back loop of the single crochet. Oh, actually, I need a bit of extra height, so I'm going to go half doubles into the back loop of the single crochet round for the half doubles. And then the next round we'll work into the third loop of the half double. So we've got a little bit of extra texture. You don't have to. The pattern doesn't say to do it. I'm going off script. Chantelle's off the chain. Off the chain. Part of it was I really didn't want to lose any more pink than I needed to. Because if I covered, then, you know, because otherwise we'd lose this whole extra section of pink here. And I think the pink is so pretty, I don't want to lose it. That's just a bit sad, rather, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to change how the pattern works just because I want more of this one colour. Well, that's what we're doing. Did I catch up that tail then? I think I caught up the tail. Oh dear, there he is. Get out. We don't want you in there. You don't belong there. You're in the way. Be daring. I don't know if daring's the word. And it's such a big change. Let's change from a single crochet to a half double crochet in a back loop. I needed some extra length. I didn't want to have to do extra rounds. The baubles I'm doing are a bit bigger this time. Oh, please let there be enough in this little tiny ball of yarn to get all the way to the end. Oh yeah, easy. Easy done. We'll stick that at the bottom, shall we? Where's that green? That pulled it a little bit tighter, so a little less visible. Alrighty. Going through those back loops, so let's pull this all the way through the third loops rather than the second loops for a change. Right, let's have a look. Do we need another round of, yeah, we do. I think all 3 rounds will have to be half doubles. Single crochets are definitely not going to make it to this line that's here. Bye, Benfia. Alrighty, so then we want white. Half double all the way around in the white in the third loop. So look at that. Nice little bit of texture. Bring it on, I say. I think I worked into a stitch there I didn't need to work into. So that one gets done, but not that one, and then this one gets, there it is. Oh, got the tail, caught up, come back. Out of the way. Oh, I missed a stitch, hang on. Alrighty. Got to head off. See you, Kelly. Have an awesome day. I know it's time. I'll finish this round. We won't get to, I was hoping we would finish this half, but we won't get it done. I'll just get to the end of the round and we can have a little look at it. Alrighty, and we are nearly around. Nearly there. Bear with. Like 3-4 more stitches. Alrighty. Okay, let's have a look at how it looks sitting on the little bauble. It's got some texture. Look at that. I like that. That's super cute. And I'm very happy that we threw that blue in. It's just a really nice little bonus. So cute. Alrighty. Lords and ladies of the interwebs, I will see you back here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Extra longs. Yeah, the pink spike stitches have come up really nicely. And I do like the half doubles that we've gone with there. So, yeah. I will see you all same bat time, same bat station. If you are a channel member, keep an eye out. There is very likely going to be a members only call over on the Discord on Saturday morning, a bit earlier than usual, but unless the poll's looking 85-15-ish, I'm not going to be able to please everybody. So, yeah. I highly recommend making some baubles, by the way. I'll see you all next week. We'll Christmas up next level. Next level Christmasing happening here. Each week, just a little bit more Christmas. We need some Christmas over this side now. Got lots of Christmas on this side. We need some more on this side. All right. I will catch you all next time. Have a great week. Do some Christmas crafting. Or actually, if you need a break, put your hooks up and give your hands a stretch. Whatever you need to do, you got to do it. I'll catch you next time. Bye now.